I'm gonna give them their props. They was a good football team, but I know the only way is up with it, for sure. Yeah, it helped me understand the concepts live, you know, but it's different when it's different body types going out there, different way how people get out of routes. Like what I seen on the pick initially was I see his hips turn, so I'm like, okay, we're gonna be able to get out there, but at the same time, like playing quarterback is extremely hard.
Preparation, no rhythm with the receivers, no chemistry with the offensive line, nothing. Just a young quarterback thrown straight into a firestorm against one of the most physically dominant defenses in the league, the Baltimore Ravens, a playoff machine built on pressure, disguises, and violence in the trenches. And Shedeur walked right into it with cold joints, cold nerves, and a cold sideline that didn't expect him to take a single snap. From the first hit he took, viewers could tell the night was about to spiral, and when the dust settled, the entire internet was waiting to see how he would respond.
Isn't something I'm comfortable with at all. I just gotta take this one, you know? I gotta take this one, I gotta decompress, I gotta understand, like, you know, this really happened, you know, on my watch. So, I don't like the feeling. Playing against a great defense, you got guys from the Pro Bowl out there, so it's like, it's exciting to see, okay, this what it's like, all right. This what it's like, I'm excited for it. So, you know, I just gotta take this one, you know, and build on it.
But nobody expected what came next. When the post-game press conference started, Shedeur didn't look broken. He didn't look rattled. He looked angry, focused, and brutally honest. Every quote dropped like a grenade. I didn't get first-team reps. Boom. I hadn't taken a real hit since Colorado. Boom. There was no rhythm out there. Boom. This will never happen again on my watch. A full detonation, and within minutes, the clip went viral. Hashtags were everywhere. Sports networks ran the footage on loop.
How do you think you played?
I don't think I played good. I don't think I played good at all. I think it's a lot of things, you know, we need to look at, you know, during the week and go and just get comfortable, even throwing routes, you know, with Jerry and throwing routes with all those guys. So I think that was my first ball to him all year.
Fans immediately shifted from disappointment to outrage, not at Shedeur, but at the Browns coaching staff. Because the real story wasn't the performance, it wasn't the interception, it wasn't the sacks or the stalled drives. The real scandal, the real spark that ignited this wildfire, was the fact that the Browns threw a rookie quarterback, who might be the future of the franchise, into a heavyweight battle with zero preparation. Fans felt betrayed. Analysts felt confused, and former players started speaking up online about how reckless it was to send in a young QB without letting him build timing with the receivers in practice.
You know, it puts everything in a tough spot, you know, and it's not helping the team, you know, so that could be taken as, okay, I'm being a distraction, even though I ain't doing that.
The Ravens defense didn't just greet Shedeur, they crushed him. Edge rushers collapsing the pocket, blitz packages exploiting his inexperience, defensive backs jumping routes because they knew his timing was off. It was textbook predation by one of the smartest defensive units in the league. And through all that, Shedeur still stood up, kept swinging, and refused to blame his teammates. Instead, he pointed directly at the lack of preparation. He exposed the situation. He told the truth, and fans respected him for it. Because while the numbers looked rough, the maturity looked elite. The leadership looked real. This wasn't a kid making excuses. This was a quarterback diagnosing a failure he didn't create, but now intends to correct. The Shedeur Sanders era didn't start with glory. It started with grit. And sometimes, that's the real beginning of a franchise shift. Once Shedeur's comments hit social media, fans immediately began dissecting everything, not just the game, but the organizational decisions that led to such a chaotic debut.
I'm thankful for the supporters, thankful for the fans, thankful for everybody out there, you know, that believes. And yeah, when I got out there, I definitely felt them. And, you know, I'm truly thankful for it. And
sports talk shows erupted with debates. Cleveland fans began calling into radio stations demanding answers. Former NFL quarterbacks started dropping their own takes. pointing out how rare and irresponsible it is to let a rookie enter a game this unprepared. About favoritism. It wasn't about politics. It wasn't about drama in the locker room. It was about accountability. Fans wanted to know how a head coach could spend an entire week preparing a game plan without giving one of the team's most important assets even a single rep with the starters. Analysts pointed out that rookie quarterbacks need timing more than anything. The timing of releases, the timing of routes, the timing of protection shifts. Without that, a quarterback becomes a sitting target. And that's exactly what happened. But the frustration grew deeper than just football strategy. Fans began replaying clips of Shedeur at Colorado, his poise, his mobility, his quick decisions, his command of the offense.
The thing that I was excited about is just being able to get out there, you know. It's the first time I got hit, like, since just my last game at Colorado. Just having that feeling back, you know, is good. And, you know, I feel fulfilled overall when it comes to being out there practicing, going in between the lines, seeing actually what it's like. And I know I'm made for it.
They compared that player to the version they just saw in Cleveland, hurried, rushed, forced, and out of sync. And the conclusion was obvious. It wasn't the talent that was failing. It was the preparation. Social media erupted with posts like, "Why draft him if you won't prepare him?" And "How do you let your future walk into a battle completely blind?" Hashtags calling for Stefanski to explain himself trended nationwide. Even rival fans started chiming in, saying that Cleveland had mishandled one of the most promising young QBs of the new generation. Meanwhile, Shedeur's post-game energy showed something the organization didn't expect. He wasn't lost, he wasn't shaken, he wasn't making excuses or blaming teammates. He was diagnosing the situation with precision, almost like a veteran. He talked about protection struggles, spacing issues, and route timing, all things that can only be fixed with first-team reps. And when he said, "This will never happen again on my watch,"
I think every throw, you know, is going to be complete until it's not, you know. I know Gage is a dog.
That's a tough spot.
I have the most reps with Gage out of everybody out there. So we out there in the Hungry Dogs going at it every day. So
fans felt something they haven't felt in a long time. Belief. Not hope. Belief. Shedeur was already stepping into a leadership role that rookie quarterbacks usually shy away from. He wasn't calling out players. He wasn't attacking coaches. He was setting expectations, setting a standard, setting the stage for his rise. The Browns didn't just hear Shedeur's words, they felt them, and so did the entire football community. While fans were firing shots at the coaching staff, analysts took a step back and looked at the bigger picture. What Shedeur did, stepping into an NFL game without practice reps, is almost unheard of for a quarterback. Receivers and tight ends need timing. Running backs need to hear cadence. And against a Ravens defense known for punishing every mistake, the results were predictable. The pressure on Shedeur throughout the night was relentless. Edge rushers came from both sides. Inside linebackers disguised signals and baited him into confusion. Safeties dropped into zones that looked open until the last second. The Ravens defense has broken quarterbacks with years of experience, so what they did to a rookie with no preparation wasn't just expected, it was inevitable. But the magic happened after the game, in the press room, where Shedeur didn't dodge, didn't deflect, didn't hide behind PR-safe talking points. He admitted things most athletes are too scared to say publicly.
Right at halftime, so right before you see me, right when you see me, isn't something I'm comfortable with at all.
How do you think you played?
I don't think I played good. I don't think I played.
That he hadn't been hit since Colorado, that the chemistry wasn't there, that the timing felt foreign, that stepping in without preparation felt like being thrown into a storm without a compass. And that honesty is what made the moment viral. It wasn't drama, it was leadership. Coaches often preach accountability from players, but rarely do they expect accountability to the players. Shedeur flipped the script. He held the organization accountable without attacking it. He spoke truth without disrespect. The internet dubbed it one of the most mature press conferences from a rookie in years. Former players stood behind him. Analysts praised his composure. Even some Ravens defenders admitted they respected his attitude despite the rough night. This wasn't the story of a young quarterback getting exposed. This was the story of a young quarterback exposing an entire system. Not out of ego, but out of necessity, because Shedeur showed something that stats can't measure: resilience, vision, and leadership under pressure. And suddenly, the conversation began shifting. Fans stopped treating the debut like a failure and started treating it like a warning to the organization, a warning to Stefanski, a warning to the league, and the warning was simple. You can't stop what Shedeur Sanders is about to become. You can only prepare for it or get run over by it. As Shedeur's comments continued circulating, Cleveland's fan base entered full meltdown mode, not because they doubted his talent, but because they felt the organization didn't protect him. Browns fans have lived through quarterback disasters for decades. They aren't strangers to disappointment, but this moment felt different because for once, they believed they finally had something real, something special, something worth building around. And to see their future leader thrown into chaos, saying the situation made no sense. National commentators said the Browns set the rookie up to fail. Even rival fans said they would have given Shedeur at least a handful of first-team reps before putting him anywhere near the field. And while the city raged, Shedeur stayed calm. He didn't add fuel, he didn't backtrack, he didn't apologize for telling the truth. His silence after the press conference was strategic, letting the world absorb his message without dilution. But behind the scenes, the ripple effect was massive. Coaches reportedly held longer meetings. Quarterbacks demanded more balanced practice reps. Receivers wanted extra film sessions. Offensive linemen scheduled communication drills. The entire building shifted because a rookie quarterback verbally set a standard no one expected. And that's when fans began realizing this wasn't just about one game. This was the birth of a leader, a quarterback who can rally veterans, a quarterback who can redirect an organization, a quarterback who can recognize problems and correct them before they break the season. Leadership isn't loud, leadership is clarity, leadership is accountability. And Shedeur showed all three under the worst possible disaster. Fans began calling it a turning point. Because sometimes the worst introduction creates the strongest comeback story. The city of Cleveland may not always agree on much, but one thing became clear overnight. The Shedeur Sanders era didn't just begin, it took command. The media began comparing Shedeur's situation to other NFL quarterbacks whose careers started in adversity. Analysts mentioned how Patrick Mahomes didn't take a snap until the final week of his rookie season, how Lamar Jackson's offense wasn't built around him until halfway through his first year, how Josh Allen struggled early because he lacked chemistry and protection. Shedeur was thrown into a no-win scenario, but what he did afterward transformed the narrative. He didn't retreat, he didn't shrink, he didn't protect the coaching staff to look like a good rookie. Instead, he demonstrated what many quarterbacks develop only after years: the ability to diagnose organizational flaws, not just on-field mistakes, structural ones. Experts said that Shedeur's comments showed he understood the why behind the struggle. He wasn't overwhelmed by the Ravens. He was overwhelmed by the lack of preparation. And to say that publicly, without creating locker room division, is a skill very few athletes possess. The Browns organization suddenly found itself under pressure, but not because the media was attacking them, because their quarterback had revealed a standard they weren't meeting, and fans loved him for it, because Cleveland hasn't had a quarterback who could command the room with words since, well, possibly never. Now the real narrative begins. The Browns have no choice but to adjust. The fans demand it, the media expects it, and Shedeur's voice has made it impossible for the team to continue operating as if he's just another backup quarterback waiting his turn. This moment didn't just reveal flaws, it revealed potential, it revealed hunger, it revealed that Shedeur sees the game like a general, not a rookie. Coaches can teach mechanics, they can teach playbooks, they can teach footwork, but they can't teach presence, they can't teach honesty, they can't teach leadership. Shedeur already has those. What he needs now is protection, preparation, and full access to first-team chemistry. Because once that happens, Cleveland is going to see a different version of the quarterback they drafted. Not a survivor, not a learner, but a conductor. Someone who orchestrates drives, commands respect, and refuses to let the offense collapse under pressure. The Ravens game wasn't a failure. It was a prophecy, a warning shot. A preview of what happens when an organization isn't ready for the fire they drafted. But with Shedeur's mindset, that fire won't die. It'll grow. And next time he steps onto the field, he'll have the reps, the timing, the control, the vengeance. This wasn't the end of Shedeur Sanders' story. It was the beginning of the chapter that shows the league exactly who he is. A quarterback with accountability rare in the modern era. A competitor who refuses to hide behind excuses. a leader who already speaks like a franchise cornerstone. The Browns didn't just discover flaws in their system, they discovered the standard they now have to meet. And for Cleveland, a city that's been waiting for a real leader under center, Shedeur's viral comments didn't cause chaos, they sparked belief. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to like the video and subscribe for more deep dive sports storytelling and analysis.